Hello and welcome to this episode of Polarizer 001. Today I'm going to show you how can we get from this photo to this photo within less than a minute. But first I would like to tell you why did I immigrate from Lightroom to DXO Photolab. Now we are on June 2019 and recently Adobe have started a test. I think it's a silly test, but they've started a test. They wanted to see how would the customer react to price changes in the photography plan. They've doubled the price for certain users, not all of the users, and they wanted to see how do they react. So I decided to check if there is a good alternative for Lightroom. I tested Luminar 2018 and I tested DXO Photolab, and how can I say it without laughing? I realized that DXO Photolab gave me much better image quality and gave me the tools that I wished that I had in Lightroom, which is mostly the control points, which Nick Collection had, and DXO bought Nick Collection recently, and all the good things of Nick Collections are now implemented in DXO Photolab, and it works much better even. So let's see how can we edit in DXO Photolab. Once we open the software, we get this screen, which is the module, the photo library module. It is like the library module in Lightroom, but here we don't have no catalog. We have only direct access to my drive, to the folders in my drive, and I don't have to import anything. I just access the folders themselves, and I access my photo which are in these folders. So we can see this folder. Within this module, we can rate photos. We can select a photo, and we can rate it with our mouse with stars, or pick or reject. Okay, we can do it even with the shortcuts on the keyboard, which if I'm using the control 1 to 5, it's the stars, and if I want to make it 0, I will give 0, and control 7 is pick, control 8 is unflag, and control 9 is reject. So I will unflag it, and let's choose a photo, our photo, and let's start editing it. So double clicking the photo will open it. When we open the photo, we are going into the customize module, which is actually the like the develop module in Lightroom. Once you open the photo, it already gets few corrections. They are all grouped in a preset which is called DXO standard, and if you want to see how would the photo will be looked without these corrections, I can select the preset no correction. I will double click it, and this is the photo without the corrections. Now if I want to add those default corrections, double clicking the preset, and I can see the default corrections all already implemented, like this one. We can apply presets from here too, from the top, but now let's keep on editing. First action that I will do is I will correct the distortion. In order to correct the distortion, I want to overlay the grid. So Control G will give me the grid, and we can use it, we can activate it from the view and grid overlay too. I'm going to the distortion and I'm selecting fisheye. Now this lens is a manual lens. It's a Samyang 14mm. It's an ultra wide angle lens, and unfortunately I don't have the optic module of my camera with this lens. Usually DXO Photolab, they create optic module for every combination of a camera and a lens, and if it's applicable, you can download it and use it. For this lens, I don't have the optic module, so we will correct the distortion manually. I'm selecting the fisheye and I'm just correcting the distortion until I can see that that the horizon is a straight line. Now it's not leveled, so let's correct the level. I'm going to the horizon tool on the top. I'm selecting this line from one side to the other side, and I'm applying the correction. Now the photo is leveled. If I want to see if the distortion is really good, it seems to be okay. So I don't have to do any more distortion correction. So let's get rid of our grid, Control G. Now let's see how amazing is DXO Photolab. Since it's a landscape, I can use my great tool, DXO Clearview Plus. Bang. Watch it. Okay. If you think it's too strong, you can use the intensity slider to reduce it a little bit. Okay. Now this one is, you may say, it's like the dehaze on Lightroom. Yeah, it's like it, but it's much better than this. I will zoom a little bit with double click. I want to show you the micro contrast, which is another good tool of DXO Photolab. I will increase it even more. And let's see it when it's turned off, switched on. Okay, double clicking, and you can see the micro contrast again, switched off, switched on. If I want, I can reduce it a little bit. Okay, I think this is okay. I did all my global adjustment. Now let's have some local adjustment. First, let's frame our photo. I'm going on the top menu to the local adjustment. When I'm using the right click on the mouse, I can use the graduated filter. I will have some graduated filter on the top. Even take it a little bit less. We'll reduce the color. Another one on the bottom. Again, reduce the exposure. And let's have another frame on the top. As my master do it, Serge Ramilly. Okay. Let's see how does it look. It's too strong here, so let's correct it. I will just use this one. Let's see I think it's okay. If you want to compare this photo to the source one, Control D will show us when did we started, and this is our outcome, the result one. And we can see that here on the left we have some shadows. Instead of using the shadows and midtones globally, let's do it locally with the control points. Right click on the dial. I'm selecting the control point. Once you select a control point, it selects, there is a circle which you can increase it or decrease it, but it doesn't, the masking is not on all of the circle. These one are not selected because it selects only the areas with the same texture and same exposure as this point. We can see the masking by pressing the M key, mask, on the keyboard. Okay. And we can reduce this. Pressing the M key again, and we can see our photo. Let's increase a little bit the shadows. Not too much. And let's ding, ding, ding. I think it's okay. Here we have to increase it too. And that's it. Let's see. Yeah, seems to be okay. What else? Now let's have some dodge and burn. In order to have dodge and burn, we are selecting the local adjustment, right click, selecting the brush tool, and we have the size of the brush, the feathering of the brush, flow, and opacity. The opacity, I like to use it as not on 100%, but less than 50, and then I can have some dodge and burning. Let's increase the midtones. Where is it? Midtones. Okay, here's some too. Yeah, I think it's okay. Let's have here. That's it. I like it, so let's keep it this way. And thank you very much for joining me. See you in the next episode.